Okay, is this thing on? Well, let's go and see. Hi, I know y'all are expecting kind of like a safety demo with the plane and how to go and understand and do proper air travel. Well, that would have been fine and dandy, except the zombie apocalypse actually took place. So what I'm going to be going over now is zombie survival. We're going to be discussing some of the tangibles, the emotional connections, control, basically give you an understanding of how this is going to work and how you're going to survive. Things to go and consider. Actually, they should be called ghouls, not zombies. Ghouls are actually smart, whereas zombies are brain dead. And trust me, that little girl that is eating my neighbor outside right now, yeah, she's still pretty smart and quick. Things to also go and consider. Not entirely sure how this happened. A lot of people were saying that it was a case that hell got full and the dead have risen through that way. But you remember Jody from class? You remember the one with the coffee mug? Well, I don't think she became a zombie because hell got full. So that's another thing to go and consider. Personally, I think it's global climate change. Take that, all of you non-believers. This is why they're zombies. Things to go and kind of consider, like the emotional reasons you want to go and survive is because it's life or death. Some of the things to also consider as far as the tangibles is survival. For starters, you always want to make sure you shower. Zombies can smell fear. So if you don't shower, the zombies are going to go and find you. Hence why France was eaten up like really quick. You want to go and stock up on supplies. Preferably non-perishable stuff. Fruit goes bad after a couple of days. You may not always have electricity. But importantly, you also want to have a can opener. Can openers are important because if you get like canned soup, well, it's very difficult to eat through the tin if you don't have a can opener. Some of the other things to go and keep in mind, don't go outside when it's dark. I mean, it's just really important. You just want to kind of survive and be careful out there. It's still kind of a learning experience for a lot of people. It's only been a couple of weeks. And prior to that, I mean, it's been a while since we've had like a mass plague. I mean, there was the Great Depression, but then again, the Dust Bowl wasn't actually like eating you. Definitely learning how to use a weapon to defend yourself. You kind of want to make sure you sever the head completely. Even if the head's a little limp and still attached, they're still movable. Drinking their blood is bad. If you're needing something to go and eat, eating your own foot is not a good idea. It only works in 127 hours. So these are a few things to go and just remember to go and what you need to do to survive. I'll try to get back with you with a few more tips later on. Another zombie tip to go and have, always have an escape route. As you can see, me hanging out in this basement, where there's, well, one, the ceiling's kind of low and stuff. This is not a good place to hide, because if I was to get cornered, I'm pretty much going to be zombie meat. So definitely have an escape route. Always important to have an escape route. Another thing you want to have handy, make sure your credit card still has an available line of credit or your debit card still has money in the account. Thing is when you're driving in your car, even though there's an apocalypse taking place and gas has been inflated, they're still going to charge you per gallon, and they're not very pleasant about it because they talk to you over the big speaker thing, and yeah, you still have to pay for gas. Batteries. Make sure you save up on a lot of batteries. This is because a lot of things still require electricity. We haven't figured out the whole solar power thing yet. Wish we did, would have been nice, but we had to spend money elsewhere. Another zombie tip. Thankfully, global climate caused all this winter stuff. I'm standing here in Galveston and it's really cold, and that works great for zombies because, well, especially in Galveston, they were all wearing shorts and swimming along, and the coldness really goes and It congeals the blood, and I'm not used to this at all. You can imagine what a zombie's like, roaming about in just shorts, and yeah, it was European week, so there was a lot of like smaller swimsuits. So yeah, it's cold. Another zombie tip, when you're out here, yellow snow, I found out the hard way, it's not lemonade. Other things to go and consider, if you've seen those movies where that one guy's willing to go and compromise everyone's safety so he survives, well, that happens. Another thing to go and have is clean underwear. Because if you're attacked by zombies and you get injured or something like that, and some rogue traveler seems to be like a Deus Ex Machina or whatever it's called, and they come to rescue you, well, you want to have clean underwear. You don't want to be smelling like, you know what I'm talking about. Oh. Clean underwear. See this bush? Sleeping under that is not a good idea, especially with it being really cold. If you can, break into a house. As you can go and see, I'm approaching the door, and don't even bother knocking. Just go inside. Most people won't fire a gun at you, though my brother does have live ammo in here. The zombie apocalypse is a scary thing. It's something you've got to be mindful of. It's a situational awareness thing. If you hear a moaning, it's usually not somebody sleeping or a drunk person coming home like really early. So be careful when you're out there, and Godspeed. We're all counting on you, and good luck. Finally, a few things to remember. You want to make sure you have non-perishable goods. Definitely have a can opener. Have a good line of credit because fuel's expensive. You're going to go and need it. And I hate you so much, global climate change. You did this to us. And finally, if I had one piece of advice, don't eat the yellow snow. The long-term benefits are not healthy. Riley out.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Discount Airline Pilot Guy.
Mr. Discount Airline Pilot Guy.
Your minimal experience flying a plane will never land you at a reputable airline. Luckily, you don't work for one.
Look at me, I'm flying.
Sure, we're concerned for our lives. Just not as concerned as saving $9 on a round trip to Fort Myers.
Oh!
The most direct route to Houston? Through Fort Lauderdale, with layovers in Detroit, Vancouver, and Kalamazoo.
I can't feel my legs.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh skipper of the skies. You put the fly in fly-by-night operation.
Mr. Discount Airline Pilot Guy.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.